with Steve McMurray.
Welcome and good Saturday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray. We're going to hear from Katrina in just a couple of minutes, but meteorologist James DeFazio still in the studio with me this morning. And Jimmy, it was a little bit of everything when we were together on Thursday. We said the walkers, you're going to have to bundle up, and it might be windy. And you are correct, sir.
Yes, I hope that they're layered up out there because it's definitely going to be wind chills in the teens throughout the duration of this entire walk today. It's going to be very blustery, unfortunately, but on the more positive side, we're going to gain some daylight this weekend. And tonight the sun sets at 5:59 p.m. Tomorrow night the sun will set at 7 p.m., which is a very nice change. But fortunately, the squalls that we saw earlier this morning have moved off to the south. They have basically come to an end across central New York. A couple of flurries still possible across the very southern valleys, but all of us now predominantly seeing partly sunny skies. We're only going to see some issues on the side roads this morning. The main roads are doing okay, especially with how strong the sun is for this time of year. It's 24 degrees and sunny in Rome. As Steve mentioned, at 23 miles per hour the wind is currently blowing up in Rome, and we're going to see these 25 to 35 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 45 miles per hour throughout the day today. Again, main roads predominantly okay out there, but you're going to want to be careful on any side streets. It's going to stay cold and windy today, which is going to further that travel. There's going to be areas of blowing snow in any open areas, so be careful for any possible whiteout conditions today. But aside from that, it's going to be partly sunny. Temperatures are relatively stable in the mid-20s. Coming up in full weather, we'll have a look at how warm things are going to get next week. We have a light at the end of the tunnel. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. A stretch of South James Street in Rome was shut down overnight between state.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday morning. We saw some snow squalls move through central New York early this morning, but they have since moved south and out of the region, and we are now just dealing with cold, windy weather, which is going to remain in place throughout the weekend today. Things do get a little bit warmer as we head into the second half of the weekend, but it's still relatively cold compared to what we're going to see next week. Let's get right into the forecast. Look at downtown Utica. It's a very picturesque scene this morning. We had some snow on the ground, some very blue skies peeking through the very, very puffy cumulus clouds out there. It's a very picturesque sky, but it's definitely it's got a bit of a bite to it out there this morning. It's chilly. It's going to stay chilly. Temperatures are relatively stable today. Highs are only going to be in the mid to upper 20s. We do have a little bit of light snow to worry about during the day on Sunday, but all in all, a very pleasant weekend aesthetically. It's just going to feel very cold, and it's going to stay windy through the weekend. Winds aren't quite as bad today as they were yesterday. We saw gusts up to 50 miles an hour yesterday. We're only thinking gusts up to 40 to 45 today, so a little bit better in terms of wind levels today. But cold and windy conditions continue today. Areas of blowing snow, anywhere that is open is going to see blowing snow. Light snow returns on Sunday. It remains windy. And then we have a major change in the weather pattern, which is going to bring much, much, much warmer weather consistently throughout next week. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, a couple lingering flurries across the southern portions of the viewing area, but these showers are going to continue to move southward. They're going to continue to move out of the region, and we're going to see this partly sunny and cloudy weather settle in for the day. 24 degrees and sunny skies being reported up in Rome. That 28 mile per hour wind right now being reported at Griffiths. That is a strong, consistent wind. That's not a gust. That's 28 mile per hour wind being reported. The radar and satellite picture showing that the burst of snowfall that moved through earlier this morning, the partly sunny skies working in behind it. Things stay windy into next week, unfortunately, but they're not quite as windy. By Monday, we're looking at winds 15 to 25 as opposed to 25 to 35 mile per hour like today. Partly sunny skies to begin your weekend. Temperatures relatively stable today. Mostly clear to begin your night tonight, which is going to allow the temperature to drop a little bit. But then when clouds work in, the temperature stabilizes before Sunday morning. We're looking at a warm front to arrive during the day on Monday. You can see that temperature rise from 25 all the way up into the mid-30s for your day on Sunday. Light snow breaks out during the day on Sunday. We see a very light accumulation across the region, and then partly cloudy skies to end the weekend as we head that into your Monday morning. Today, cold and windy, very cold, very windy. The wind's going to be around through the day today. Highs right around the current temperature, right around 28 degrees. Your 7-day forecast, things get much, much better as we head into next week. We spring forward tomorrow, and we really spring forward in terms of the forecast. We really end up in partly sunny skies Monday and Tuesday. We warm all the way up Tuesday to near 60 degrees. A little backdoor cold front Wednesday, Thursday, but we warm right back up behind it. We're back into the mid-50s by the end of the forecast period. And does anybody know the answer? I think our producer Ed got this one correct. I know. Yes, it is. It would be C. It is Arizona and Hawaii. American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands all also do not participate. The reason that you'll hear people refer to Arizona as most of Arizona, you might just hear Hawaii and most of Arizona, it's because the Navajo Nation in the northeast portion of Arizona actually does observe daylight saving time. So that's why you don't always hear necessarily two states, just Arizona and Hawaii, but it is actually the two of them. It is the two of them.
I knew it was Arizona. I did not know Hawaii. So
Yeah.
I would have got, I probably would have chosen A, honestly. So, oh well. All right.
I got you.
Exactly. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for this half hour of Weekend Today. We want to get right to the Weather Center and meteorologist James DeFazio. And James, a little windy out there this morning.
Cold
a lot windy out there this morning.
Definitely windy. That windy weather is still with us, and it's going to be around through the weekend today. Fortunately, gusts today look to only be up to 40, where we saw gusts yesterday in excess of 50 miles per hour. So a little bit less today, but I want to remind everyone the clocks change tomorrow morning. Daylight saving begins. One day till that. Tomorrow morning, clocks change from 2 to 3 a.m. We're going to see a big change in terms of the sunset time. Sunsets tonight, 5:59 p.m. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A couple of flurries across the southern hills, but the squalls have since moved to the south. We're seeing partly sunny conditions move in across for all of central New York. A very picturesque sky off of downtown Utica. A couple very puffy cumulus clouds out there. We're going to see those fair weather clouds around today, but currently mostly sunny in Rome. 23 miles per hour wind out of the west-northwest. We're going to see these 15 to 25 mile per hour winds continue today with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Travel conditions out there right now, primarily good. Main roads are doing just fine. You're going to want to be careful on any side roads for any icing that might still be down from this morning's snowfall. But all in all today, the travel issues are going to be in open areas from blowing and drifting snow. Otherwise, it's just going to be a cold, breezy day today. We're tracking a major change in terms of the pattern for next week. We warm up very, very much as we head into next week, possibly all the way into the 50s by Tuesday. We'll have more information coming up on that. I'm going to throw it back over to Steve. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. A cold and windy morning for the Heart Run and Walk. News Channel 2's Katrina Smith has decided.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday morning. Snow squalls have come to an end across central New York, but cold, windy weather remains in its wake. It is quite blustery and quite chilly out there right now, and it's going to stay that way through the day today. Take a look at downtown Utica, though. It doesn't look that way. It looks absolutely gorgeous out there. We're going to see plenty of breaks of sunshine, plenty of partly sunny skies this weekend, which is going to make it seem like it's not quite as bad out there. But we feel like temperatures out there are anywhere from the high single digits into the low teens. We're going to see that windy weather continue into Sunday. Temperatures do get a little bit warmer on Sunday. We crack the freezing mark. We get into the mid to upper 30s on Sunday, whereas today we're confined into those mid to upper 20s with much cooler temperatures. We're tracking a couple of things. That cold, windy weather continues today. Gusts today up to 40 miles per hour. Be careful for areas of blowing snow and any open areas. There is the threat for whiteouts in places. Light snow makes its return Sunday, but it remains windy through the day. We're not seeing any major snow, but but possibly a light accumulation. And then a change in the weather pattern brings warmer temperatures for next week. Your York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, a couple of flurries south of the Finger Lake region, but otherwise predominantly partly sunny skies, across central New York. It's currently 25 and mostly sunny up in Rome. That wind continues to rip at 23 miles per hour. We're going to see these 15 to 25 to even possibly up to 30 mile per hour winds continue during the day today. The radar and satellite pictures showing some of those snow squalls that moved through earlier this morning. They have since weakened and shifted off to the south. We're seeing much calmer weather for the remainder of the weekend. The only thing that really is not going anywhere is that wind. That wind is going to stay around into next week. And while it does die down for Monday and Tuesday, it's still breezy on Monday and Tuesday. We're still looking at 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. But partly sunny skies today. Temperatures are going to be relatively stable today. They stay right around where they're at, right around the mid to upper 20s. We do see some cloud cover work in at times throughout the afternoon, so we will see that sun peek behind the clouds at times, but all in all, predominantly a sunny day Saturday. Tonight, a chance for a couple of flurries, but in all, a partly cloudy night. Snow begins to arrive Sunday morning. Snow overspreads the area. We all see a little bit of light snowfall during the day. We also see a little bit of sunshine during the day on Sunday, and then things begin to calm down as we head towards Monday. Highs today are in the mid-20s, cold and windy. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, gets very warm next week. By Tuesday, we're all the way up into the upper 50s, and then we cool down for a couple of days before we enter back into the 50s by the end of next weekend. I asked this one because I had a few people actually ask me this question. It's actually false. It can be true. It actually often is true, but we wanted to point that out because we had a lot of flood issues this past week, and some of the rivers didn't flood until the day after we saw the rainfall. So it does take some time sometimes.
Watch out for that next week, too. Right now, we're going to go right back to the Heart Run Walk as the walk has started. Let's go to Katrina down at Utica University.
Meteorologist James DeFazio joins us now in the Weather Center, and that wind absolutely
it was ripping
howling
today.
Still is in some parts of the area.
It really is. It's died down a tiny bit. But it's not going to die down very much tomorrow. It's going to return in force tomorrow. We're going to have another very windy day. The other big change tomorrow is the clocks are changing tonight. And we're going to have different sunrise and sunset times. Tomorrow, sun comes up at 7:22 a.m. Doesn't set until 7 o'clock p.m. So it's a big change in terms of what we're getting for daylight. York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, all is quiet, high pressure still in control. A couple of flurries showing up on there, but primarily quiet weather. It's very calm in downtown Utica. Dry conditions in the protected areas. Again, any open areas could still be susceptible to that blowing snow. 30 degrees and cloudy up in Rome. Still a 12-mile-an-hour wind, so those winds haven't completely subsided. They've down a little bit. You're going to want to take it easy out there if you're going on any side roads, anywhere north or south of the valley that's in a rural area that might promote any open blowing areas. Tomorrow, light snow develops in the morning, otherwise a windy day. Highs are going to be much warmer than today, though, all the way up into the mid-30s. We'll have more information coming right up. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. The torch, or should we say the shillelagh, has a
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday evening. It was a cold, blustery day across central New York, and the wind isn't going anywhere. We're going to have to deal with windy conditions through the rest of the weekend. Downtown Utica right now, primarily calm. The real issues from the wind causing the blowing snow is really happening more in rural areas, places that aren't protected by buildings, side roads more so than main roads as well. But that's going to continue into the day tomorrow, especially because we're going to see snow return. Cold and wind conditions continue tonight. Light snow makes its return tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, and it remains windy through the day tomorrow. And then a big change in the weather pattern arrives, bringing much warmer temperatures for the duration of next week. Your York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, a couple of flurries showing up across the southern valleys, but all in all, calm weather on the radar. It's high pressure still in control, and it's going to stay calm until around sunrise tomorrow morning. 30 degrees and cloudy skies being reported up in Rome. Still a 12-mile-an-hour wind, a little bit less, about 10 miles an hour, less than it was earlier tonight, but still breezy out there. So be careful. There is going to be reduced visibility through the day tomorrow. Your radar and satellite, some high clouds off of the lake, but all in all, a partly clear night. Some areas able to see the stars and able to actually look for the aurora that might be out there as well. Tomorrow morning, a light coating to 2 inches a coating to an inch at most. And then we get a break during the afternoon hours, and then in the evening, another very glancing blow shot across the north country may drop another coating to an inch. But all in all, not going to see too much in the way of accumulation, enough to deal with, enough to make the wind, enough to make it very, very tough to see at times with these very gusty winds. Going to reduce visibility, whiteout conditions at times. As we head into next week, the winds aren't enough to call them calm. They're still about what they are right now, 10 to 20 miles per hour on Monday and Tuesday, before they fully die down on Wednesday. Your skycast for this evening, again, some areas seeing clouds, some areas not, but temperatures stay relatively stable. We're in the mid-20s for the majority of the night. We do dip down to the lower 20s right before sunrise. As we head into the day tomorrow morning, flurries begin to develop around 8 a.m. As we head through the morning hours, the snow becomes more prevalent, a little bit more widespread as we head towards the early afternoon hours. As we head further towards the afternoon, though, it really starts to wind down. The early evening, we're just seeing partly cloudy skies. We end the day in the mid-30s, not too bad. But then another glancing blow with the passage of a front early Sunday evening, a quick blast of snow across northern Oneida and northern Herkimer counties. Southern valleys stay dry. Not really expecting it much in the way of accumulation as that falls with temperatures above freezing, and then things stay calm as we head into Monday. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, predominantly quiet. It's a very calm, mild 7-day forecast. We warm up greatly next week. The only thing to note, cold front arrives Tuesday night into Wednesday, a minor chill down before we warm back up.